I forgot last time that we were live. I can't remember what I was saying.
We're live now.
We're live now. Facebook, get off our back. It's fine. Everything's fine.
But yeah, I find it super. It's like almost every scene I'll write like what's the dominant emotion, and then I turn to those pages in the book, and that makes it a little bit easier. Because originally I just read through it. I was like, wow, a lot of emotions I've never used before.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, especially when you're at that stage where your brain is turning to mush and you just want to keep going, and you're like, I know I need to inject some sort of emotional, I can't even think about it now. This is what happens when I wake up so early.
No, it's I'm exactly like you. Like, okay, I need another word for this. Like, they're angry, but what kind of anger is it? What can I,
Oh, I've said stop to speak 10 million times. I need something else.
Exactly.
And they've got, yeah, it's great.
Trish, I got your file thing. I'll look that over tonight.
Okay. Yeah, no rush. I lost track of time in the yard. I gardened for 2 hours, which is probably why I'm really tired. But God, it needed doing so bad. Yeah, and I was going to send that to you earlier, but I just, 2 hours of gardening, and I didn't get to my computer until a little bit ago. What are you working on these days, Lana?
So I have a fantasy romance coming out in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, right? June 8th. So I got a lot of the same sort of stuff that I have in my superheroes novels, but shifting it to a different world,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very nervous because it is new, and most of my readers love the superheroes, but most of them are on board and excited, and I'm starting to get all my typos back from all the ARC team, so it's starting to get to that point where I have to do that final read through and change after 19,000 words or so of just
How long do you give your ARC team?
Pardon?
How long do you give your ARC team?
This time, because this book ended up being 20 to 30,000 words over the limit than what I was planning, but it's first book in a new series that could potentially go on forever. Lots of world building and things like that, and so I ended up only giving them maybe a week and a half instead of my usual 2 weeks that I like to give them. But most people have read it in like one night. So I'm like,
I mean, yay.
That's awesome.
So that's good. So yeah, hopefully. I thought I'll either start on book 2 today, which needs to be, I've got the editor booked in for less than 2 months away.
Oh my God. Do you release every 3 months? Is that kind of your schedule?
About every 3 months, yeah. And normally I'm okay, but sometimes because I do book cover design as well, so I've had to start, just accepting only a few people every now and again instead of any person that asks. I used to go, okay, yeah, sure, I'll fit you in, and now I'm actually, I think, booked out almost till the end of the year now.
Oh, wow!
But I know I've got it's just a nice little amount to keep me interested because I loved doing art before I started writing, so it's kind of another passion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because you said you did your own covers, right?
I love those covers. I straight up love them. It makes so much sense now that
I've seen your Instagram.
Pardon?
Yeah.
It makes so much sense after seeing your Instagram, and then I did not vote for the cover because I already saw that I was going to lose the one I wanted.
What was that for?
For your Fae series.
Oh, that one, yeah.
You had a vote for the favorite cover. Which one
did you want? Which one did you like?
I think it was the second one.
The Witcher style one?
Yes.
Or the face?
Oh no, it was the face. I loved the face.
face. Yeah,
I get that it wasn't quite.
Yeah, that was my first one that I really loved, and then the man chest one was because I knew that's what the genre called for, and then I did the one that I liked that looked like more of a fantasy scene, and the guy's in a kind of Witcher outfit, you know, and then I tested them all, and I also tested them using Facebook ads, so that I was testing the right genre audience, not just my readers, and I was also looking at what was getting clicked on, not just what people were commenting on saying that they liked and who was the loudest and voicing their opinions. So yeah, and the Manchester and the Witcher one were actually neck and neck the whole way, and the four-old face, which was my favourite too, he just wasn't getting as many clicks as the other two. So, but then I had to look at which one was getting more. Some people might have just been clicking on the Witcher one because it looked really similar to the Witcher, but it wasn't the same. But the romance Manchester one was actually getting more shares and more things like that. So I thought, yeah, that's the one who the readers that I'm going for are actually, you know, it's driving more purchases and things. So it's really interesting exercise.
You have the ability to do that kind of, you know, product testing.
Yeah, exactly. And because I can use all those images in other promo graphics now, so they're not completely lost. But it was fun.
When you take a commission, do you just somebody send you like stock photos and say, I want these models used for this type of genre, or do you come up with everything yourself, or what do you normally do? Both?
Yeah, so it depends. Some people, I say I've got accounts with all these stock places, so if you want to have a look and, you know, if there's anyone you like, but some people are like, I've got no idea what I like and what's good, so I'll give them 2 concepts just from me, and we kind of pick one, and then we start to hone it and fine tune the one and change fonts and other things and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's a different experience for everyone depending on what their own skills are like. Some people will have a real clear vision and they know about the genre as well, and they come out and say, this is what I want, this is the guy, this is the, you know, font, and I want him to be doing this, and
oh my god.
Done.
I did a book cover for an urban fantasy author, and she sent me the font, she sent me the layout. It was part of a series, so it had to follow that. She sent me the 5 images. She had kind of gone into like MS Paint and kind of highlighted what needed to go from what to what, and then she provided me 2 pages of directions. And she's like, I feel like I'm so sorry, like I'm super type A. And I was like, dude, you're the best client I've ever had. Like 10 minutes later, here's your product.
Yeah. Sometimes that can be pretty easy, pretty amazing. And I'm like, what do you need me for?
And the only thing, she just didn't have the finesse to blend the images with the lighting to make them all appear in one. But it was kind of fun because it was like a killer clown circus fairy psychic detective. It was awesome.
That's so cool. See, I'm wanting to do a romance for superhero series next year, and I know my cover designer is going to be like, yeah, that I can't help you with that. That is really not him. Even if I gave him stock photos and asked him, like, please do a Manchester cover for me, he would not do it. Like, I've already pushed him so far beyond his comfort zone as it is. I'm like, there's boundaries here. I can't really ask more. So I am going to need a new cover designer, but I'm like, God, I have no idea even where to start.
Yeah. There's so many. I mean, if I'm not available,
Well, no, I haven't thought of you. I was like, I need to ask her rates after this.
Yeah, I'm actually, because I'm in Australia, our dollar's so different low compared to the US. So I think a lot of American people get really surprised when they see my rates. But it's probably why I'm booked out. But yeah, most romance authors will get that part right, and there's a lot of them now that do the urban fantasy and all that kind of character stuff, and it won't be a huge leap to do something else, especially if you've got samples of covers that you like. My covers are really I illustrate a lot over them as well. Oh,
I noticed that, and I love the style. I mean, I really do like that because you can tell it's from a photograph, but it looks like it's been painted, and I absolutely adore that look because it's different enough. It adds a real artistic style, but it's also similar enough that you're like, I know exactly what I'm getting. It's just like that perfect balance.
Yeah. I had huge, strong. What's the word? Just my brain stops working again. It's very early morning here, Franklin.
I was going to say, your brain hasn't started working yet.
I know.
The coffee's almost gone too.
Oh no, you need a refill.
Strong visuals, that's the word. Strong visuals of what I wanted, because I was so in love with the Arrow poster.
Yeah.
When it first came out, and I just saw Stephen Amell, and I was like, oh my God, yep, done. That's it. I'm watching that entire series, and it turned out to be way better than what I'd hoped.
Yeah. But, well, the salmon ladder helped.
The what?
The salmon ladder that he does, that helped. The series.
What's that?
The one where he does the bar, he's like,
oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's called the salmon ladder.
Are we back to the Arrow and his abs?
Yes, we are, because his abs need their own show.
I shrunk the screen for 2 seconds, and we're already on Steve Arnell's abs.
Yeah. God, I'm sad that's over, but waiting for the next one.
Yeah, but I see the similarity you're talking about between your covers and especially the Envy one and the Arrow poster. Very similar.
Yeah, I kind of knew, because doing romance in superhero was just something that isn't that done. So I thought I need to have enough pop culture references so that people will pick it up,
Yeah.
So I mean, it seems to be doing the job.
I never thought about that, but you're right. There needs to be a visual shorthand that people recognize. That's a really good point. See, this is why I'm not a designer. I don't think of that stuff at all.
Yeah, but I mean, book covers, I always tell everyone, they're like your sales tool. They're not. Yeah. They don't always say exactly what's in the story, but you're giving a message to people.
Suspicion that there's a couple people in the watching right now that have the same feelings about the abs.
Stephen Amell. Oh,
yes.
Is that Melinda? Melinda, you said it's worth revisiting, and I completely agree with you. It totally is.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about that anytime.
I know. I could go on, and I have.
Yeah, that would be the first episode of our podcast. There is a very lengthy discussion about abs.
We still need to do our superhero crushes list. We haven't really done that.
Well, he's one.
Yeah, exactly.
I've always liked Arrow, though, even when it was the guy that was in Smallville.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, I've always had a thing for Arrow. I don't know, he's just this little, mysterious kind of guy and he's got no powers, but he's just badass, and he just gets the job done.
The one in Smallville, he was actually really good. I mean, in a cast of pseudo Justice Leaguers that were some of them.
The best
Sorry,
one
Franklin.
is still going to be Aquaman now.
Oh my God.
Because he was wearing the orange T-shirt and the green shorts, and then he kept constantly taking off his shirt to jump in the water.
He did.
And you're like,
Hey,
really?
yeah, he's
Like
the guy that's in Titans now, isn't he? He plays Dove, and what's the other guy?
Oh, really?
oh
Yeah, that guy.
yeah.
Oh
I'm
my
sure he's the guy that
God.
was Aquaman in Smallville. I know my
Wow.
okay?
Yeah.
That's a good eye right there.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure of it. I bet you everyone's gonna look up now and they'll be like, "No, it's not. You don't know your
Can I just
son."
say, currently, the ladies of Discord, yeah, I'm calling you all out. Angie, Miranda, are having a conversation about how much they love your accent.
Oh, me?
They're
Yes.
definitely not talking about
I'm
me.
glad you can actually understand me because I tend to mumble a lot as well. And I never thought I could be a writer because my husband, says that I'm a flibbity gibbet, and it's true. It's the technical scientific term. I think it's to do with being an artist as well. I'm all over the place. I don't know where I am. I'm constantly amazed that I can write a book,
You are not.
and it makes sense.
You're not alone in that. Honestly.
What was the word that you were asking about, Trish? The bench. What's a bench in your kitchen?
Yeah.
For me, a bench.
Well,
yeah, I feel like the kitchen bench.
No, but is it? So it's funny. It's really cute, actually. I'm loving it because your books are set in America, but then you have a bench in the kitchen, and I'm like, what is a bench doing in the kitchen? And then I was like, oh, it's a countertop. Okay, now
countertop. See, I need to know these things because I just mess up stuff all the time, and I'm like,
it's okay. You know what?
I get yelled all the time because I go to Scotland on vacation, and that's not what a vacation is. You go to Scotland on holiday.
On holiday.
Yeah, we have holidays too, so I've had to constantly change it to vacation. Like, but holidays, but we went on the holiday down south, and
Well, and actually, I didn't mind it. Like, I could believe this is an alternate Earth, United States, where they call countertops benches. Like, I'm just rolling because I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm along for the ride.
Well, the narrator was so good as well. She pointed out quite a few Americanisms. So I went Australianisms, and I've gone and changed them. Like I had, there was a big scene at the end of the first one where they're crashing into the freeway, and that the strips in the middle of the road, we call them median strips, and bollards. They're the things that you crash into, and she's like a barrier. And I'm like, yeah. That thing, I'm going to change that now.
Our chairs are so uninteresting. We're like, yeah, it's a barrier. We don't have a special word for that.
It's a jerk barrier.
Yeah, there you
go. Yeah.
Are we late to the sprint?
Yeah, we're always late to the sprint.
The Discord's like, it's time to write.
Yeah. So, Lana, we're also in a Discord right now with a bunch of writers who are just constantly sprinting.
Yeah.
And they yell at us when we don't do
24/7.
Yeah, it's good though because it keeps you going. So, and otherwise I will talk forever.
Yeah, right there with you.
Yeah.
You're in the right place.
Sprint till 6:40.
Okay, let's do it.
So I'm going to mute, and we'll see if Franklin ever shows back up.
Okay.
Time.
How did you go?
459 words.
Ooh. I got some typos fixed.
Franklin's gonna join us in spirit. His router is not cooperating. Apparently, his router is far more drunk than he is.
Oh. I'll have to go in a minute too because it's almost time to get the kids ready for school.
What are you guys? Oh, speaking of the devil, what are you guys doing for school right now?
School is back where I am because we're very lucky here. We've got on top of everything, and they closed the borders, and school went back a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've still got some restrictions going out to cafes and stuff, but I think they might be lifted soon as well.
We
super
as
lucky.
of right now, my school may not go back for the fall.
Craziness.
America is kind of a dumpster fire right now.
Yeah, it's horrible. I know. I almost died just having a couple of kids at home for a couple of weeks there, and I feel the pain of so many parents having to balance and juggle everything at the moment. It's pretty big, and getting stuck, having to stay in your house, and
Trish has 2 daughters, 7 and 9. Oh God, I don't know how old they are. And both of them are working from home.
Oh my gosh, no.
yeah, that is hard.
It's like being inside a real life sitcom.
Yeah, my kids were literally climbing the walls at one point doing, I don't know if you got Ninja Warrior or what was the other one, Beastmaster or something over there. You've got the obstacle courses. They just turned my house into one. I got 2 boys. It's just that was fun.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I live alone, and the worst thing I have to deal with are plants.
Plants.
Yeah, that's it.
Hopefully they've had lots of care and attention. Unlike this one, it's gone a bit yellow. Don't know what I'm doing. I need to move them out.
I started right when the quarantine started. I started a garden inside because I write apocalypse novels. Like, I'm ready for this.
Now everybody's got a garden now.
Yeah, I skipped the sourdough trend because I'm not a baker, and I went straight to gardening.
Sourdough.
I only bake when I'm in between books. It's really weird. Like, as soon as one's done, just before another one starts, I start making cupcakes and all sorts of things, and then everyone's like, "Oh, one's finished the book." fresh baking and weird stuff that I just don't have the brain room for. Feeding my kids properly when I'm in the middle of writing.
I eat so much better when the novel's over. I'm like, I'm gonna make some really nice cuisine. Otherwise, I'm like, just a hot pocket. I gotta write.
Yeah. It's hard, I think, having the brain room to do lots of stuff. And Angelique brownied.
I love brownies.
I want some of those brownies.
I know.
Delicious. I have to buy them from the shop. That's what we call. Do you call them shops over there? Well, you go to the mall, don't you?
We call them stores.
Grocery.
Yeah, grocery stores.
Yeah.
Or
I like shop better.
In Scotland, you go for the letters.
For the letters?
So they used to write grocery store lists and they'd put on a sheet of paper, and that was called the letter. And so you would go for the letters.
Oh, that's fascinating.
That's cool.
I have had to learn a lot of weird things.
Yeah.
If you ever want to put one of your books in Scotland, you've got like all the cultural references down.
So in the sequel to my superhero series, the Queen of England actually wages war on London. So I've already got the plot. It's ready to go.
Oh my God.
I love that.
Yeah, I've already destroyed America. Let's move on to another country.
Dystopian.
Yeah. I nuked. Oh God. Basically, the entire East Coast is gone.
Yeah, but Chicago's a wasteland as well.
Oh, Chicago. Well,
isn't it? Am I remembering that correctly?
Chicago survives, but it's not pretty.
Okay.
I feel like all the apocalypse shows and stuff that happens in Chicago.
It's such an easy place to destroy. It's the Midwest.
It's like smack dab in between two worlds.
I made a nuclear reactor in Portland, Maine explode.
Damn, dude.
Oh no.
Because where is the nuclear power plant there that got shut down?
I don't know. I should know.
I went on a field trip there as a kid.
Do you glow in the dark now?
To a field trip to a nuclear plant.
And
right? We're
wacky
in this country, I'm telling you.
And the best part was we had there was a little activity at the end of it, and she was like, okay, so we're gonna see how what kind of power would be best to use, and everyone was like hydro or solar or wind. No one said nuclear, and she literally got mad, and she was like, no, nuclear is the best power.
Even then you're like, not really, no.
Nothing ever went wrong. But
ever, yeah.
No, after I watched Chernobyl, I read all the books, and then I got into giant discussions with friends where they were fighting me because they had not watched Chernobyl. And they thought that I was just being sensational. And I'm like, no.
It's bad,
You can't go travel there. It's gone.
Yeah.
So here's what I didn't realize. People still live in Chernobyl.
How?
So the...
Oh my God, Miranda. Have you seen her comment?
Yeah, just Miranda, she doesn't shock me one bit. She knows these things.
Idaho.
Idaho will be next.
That it's a tiny state, though. How the hell? Sorry, it just shocked me. Idaho.
So in Chernobyl, the only place that was actually deadly was within a very, very small radius because it didn't explode. And so the radiation has slowly contaminated, but it's not like an explosion that happened in Japan that, could destroy everything. And so people have lived within the they call it the red zone, and they've lived there their whole lives, and they have radiation burns and horrible medical issues.
Oh my God, that is terrible.
But they were like, we don't know anything else, so we can't leave, and they're still
There's
there.
Nothing. There's no patch of land that I would be so attached to be like, okay, we're just staying.
Yeah, well, but they probably, the really sad part is they might not have the ability to relocate anywhere else. Wherever you live.
That is
set up a GoFundMe.
Beautiful at the same time. Someone sent their drone in and did drone shots of all of Chernobyl, and it's beautiful how nature's reclaiming it. But then you remember, oh yeah, that happened.
Jeez.
And all the kids' desks are still there. Their notebooks from when they were working are still there.
Oh my God.
It's terrifying. I watched the first hour of the Chernobyl series, and I was like, nope, don't have the fortitude for this.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's very... And yeah, I think you can take a tour of the area, though, but it's only certain spots.
No. Why would you do that?
Like, who goes there for like a photo op?
Yeah.
There was a horror movie about that.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, there was.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It was bad. Don't watch it.
Yeah, no, even the trailer, I was like, are they serious or is this satire? Like, I couldn't figure it out.
It was more laughable than it was scary.
Are you drinking, speaking of, well, European things, are you drinking a Moscow Mule, Franklin?
No, it's just.
It's what the cup is.
I don't think that's not what it was called when I bought it at Target.
Oh, okay. Because the first time I drank out of one of those, my friend's like, "Oh no, they're Moscow Mule cups," and I was like, "They're what?"
Oh, maybe.
And then they made me a drink.
Moscow Mule cocktails. They're nice.
Yeah. No, my friend was like,
nice.
"You're supposed to drink them in one of those kind of cups." I was like, "Oh, okay, like sure."
I didn't know that. Yeah. Go out and buy one.
Yeah, they're nice and shiny.
Franklin, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking the Sebago Brew Company Pale Ale.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Trish, what are you drinking?
I am drinking water because I think I dehydrated myself out in the garden. So we're hydrating right now.
My drink should be red, and it's a Cosmo, but obviously I like vodka.
So it's vodka with a little bit of
a droplet of grenadine or whatever you put in it.
Yeah, it's triple sec lime juice, cranberry juice, and and vodka, and it's very limey, but that's just to hide the vodka.
Not a lot of cranberry in there.
Nope. No, not at all.
Just a small smidgen.
Just a drop.
Enough to say I'm not a lush. But
I think when I after dinner tonight, I'm gonna make myself a cocktail or something just to relax. But yeah, I overdid it. I was so excited to be outside. I'm like, oh, free time and it's sunshine. I'm gonna weed this whole area here, and then I'm gonna trim my Japanese maple. And oh look, my chestnut tree has those really annoying branches that are low. I'm gonna cut those off too. 2 hours later, I'm like, wow, I think I dehydrated myself. I'm gonna go get some lunch.
Taxing too. It can take a lot out of you, and you'll wake up tomorrow walking like.
Exactly, I'm fully expecting that. I tend to lose track of time when I'm gardening because it's kind of like a nice way to let my mind wander. And I'm like, picking weeds are just like, is very mindless.
It's therapeutic, Sometimes I do it and I get out in the sun and it's like doing the dishes. I always tell my kids, only the top monks in the monasteries are allowed to do the dishes because it's a great way to meditate. You're like, whatever.
That's brilliant. I'm going to use that.
Think it's true. I think I read it somewhere, but my brain twists things into something that I can make sense to me. So I can't trust my memory ever. Yeah. It is.
But hey, I'm all for like whatever gets your kids to do the chores.
Yeah. It doesn't work for them, by the way. They're like, why do I care about meditating? No. You don't go on Xbox. And they're like, okay.
I bet you there's a cupcake hidden up in your bedroom, but you're gonna have to put away all your toys if you're gonna find it.
Yeah.
So good.
And then it just gets destroyed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All I have to do for my youngest is say, okay, if you want to play Nintendo, you got to clean your room. And oh my God, suddenly the chore that takes 2 hours and is never ending is like done, 30 minutes. Yeah. Where's my Nintendo time?
Fortnite is the only way I can get my kids to do anything.
Yeah.
My nephew's moms are trying to get my nephew to drink more water because he goes outside and plays all the time and it's really hot and trying to keep him hydrated. So they bribe him with gummy bears, but he associates gummy bears with me. So every time he talks to me, he's like, "You're a gummy bear," and I was like, so now every time
I'm a cold drink of water. Thanks.
Yeah. My nephew knows. So now what I do is every time I have my jug of water, I'll record myself chugging it and be like, where am I going to get the gummy bears now? And I keep sending them videos. So now we're in an ongoing water challenge, and I'm probably going to be hospitalized for, screwing up my electrolytes.
Yeah.
Just drink more Cosmos. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we are in a sprint, which means I need to go downstairs and get more booze.
All right.
Yeah. I'm gonna go and get the rascals ready for school.
All
Well, it
right.
was nice talking to you again.
Cool.
It was so good to see
Yes,
you,
it was
Lana.
nice. I'm glad I woke up early.
I'm glad you did too. Thank you for making the effort. It was so good to see you.
To be honest, it's not that early. Normally, I get up at 5, which is your 5 p.m. I think. But I usually only do that when I'm in the middle of writing a book, and because I'm in between at the moment, I have to sleep in until 6. It's great.
That is nice.
That's intense.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Okay, I will be back in a few. All right. I pre-made cocktails downstairs.
You are on it, man. I'm going to get back to revising because I almost just killed one of my protagonists on accident. It was a mob hit. I was like, oh yeah, a mob hit would be great here. How does she survive, though? I don't know yet.
Oh.
All right, anyway, sorry.
Time.
Oh boy. I gotta highlight my stuff to see how much I did.
Do you use Scrivener to write? I know I've asked you this.
Yep.
I got 338.
Good work.
Trish, what is your mic picking up?
Oh. There. Sorry, it was my fan. I thought it was quiet enough that it wouldn't matter.
It was like steady. So I was like, I thought maybe your mic was next to your computer fan because mine's grinding right now.
Yeah, oh, my computer fan is totally going. But no, I have a little desktop fan, and my office, it just gets really hot even with the window open. And there's no breeze, so it's really warm in here.
I actually turned on the upstairs AC to go to sleep last night because my bedroom was like 79 degrees and I can't sleep when it's warm.
I can't either. I think we're gonna have to start sleeping with our window open.
So I would, and I have been lately, but my the alarm clock that I use to get up in the morning, it's one of those lights that slowly gets brighter.
Oh, nice.
And the alarm clock are birds chirping, and so it starts really soft and gets louder. Except with my window open, I hear the birds chirping outside, and I got up and started going to work. Like, I was half dressed before I realized, oh.
I don't need to do that now. That sucks.
So yeah, like 5 years of that alarm clock, and now I can't have windows open.
Well, I think I might be done for the night.
How dare you?
I know. I was trying. I was like, oh, I could finish the scene, but I'm really like, my brain is, nope, not a chance.
I've done 2,300 words so far today.
Nice, man.
Not bad.
I have not been tracking my daily word count since I started revising. I should probably get on that again.
I'm going to drop my word count to my like 1,300 or 1,400 every day, and then once I hit that, I'm going to start editing because it needs to happen. I just don't want to do it.
Oh, I've been there.
It's like false excitement when you're like, I'm done, the end, and you're like, not really done.
Not really, exactly.
I'm gonna relive this adventure again.
Yeah.
But it does help when you know specifically how it ended. I feel like it's much better to spot the glaring errors where I'm like, oh, this is how it went.
So I completely like gloss over a subplot that without that subplot, one of my characters doing the thing that they do in the last novel is so out of character that you're like, why? So like I know I need to go write that through, which ironically enough is the romance in the plot. So yay, more dates.
I am actually having a bit of a problem writing the romance in this book. Mainly because I'm like, okay, these are all very dire situations and they're going to go to the movies? Like,
in book 2, they have angry sex.
Nice.
Throw you against the wall. Like, this is not, there's no romance, there's no intimacy. This is completely mechanical. It's gonna happen.
Wow.
Stress relief.
Yeah. Totally valid.
I like it when the characters are like questioning themselves, like, should I really be concerned about this? And they're just like, you know what? Let's just go with it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when the belt and like porn level like pulls out in one. You're like, oh, it's happening now.
It's on.
Yeah, my main characters have sex 3 times. Kind like it's fade to black, but the first time they've almost died. The second time he just literally watched a massacre and waded through pools of blood.
Oh my god.
This might
That's
be
so like
therapist level issues.
Grim 90s grunge
Yeah.
of your stories.
It's the grimdark.
Yeah, I actually had people in book 3 say they had to put my book down because a whole bunch of people get killed during a church service, and so their bodies are left out to bake. And I did so much research on it that, and my friend's a paramedic, so you know he gave me all the details. And so I put it all in there, and one of my readers was like, I had to put it down. And then another reader jumped in and said, yeah, I've actually been around week-old dead bodies. Thanks for that trigger. And I was like, score.
What?
Oh my god.
So at the bottom of your description, you have to put caution, like where people put like, if you're not okay with this, and you'll be like, has dead bodies cooking in the sun.
Yeah. Like, here's the list of trigger warnings. They
Yeah.
get pretty lengthy by book 4. No animals ever get hurt, though.
See, you do have standards.
I do kill kids, though.
You should do the creative writing prompt that I had a teacher tell us, where it's like, write the scene from an animal's perspective watching.
Ooh. Oh my god.
So I read, and I want to say it was a student work. I can't remember, like maybe it was in a critique group because it was a while ago. Someone wrote a sex scene. No, it was one of my students when I first started teaching at Southern New Hampshire. They wrote the sex scene from the perspective of the dog watching them have sex. And I was like, this is the most uncomfortable, weird, like,
That's
how does
kind
your
of
dog
brilliant.
know what that position is called? And like I just wanted, the whole time I wanted the dog to be like, oh look, they're doing it me style.
Yeah. Just my style. Terrible.
It was so uncomfortable reading that. I was like, I feel like I'm violating a law reading this.
That is actually, but it's such a brilliant way to approach it because it's so different. I kind of love it, actually.
The animal also had a coke habit and had to go to rehab and then scored coke from the corner. I'm not kidding.
This is brilliant.
What was this genre?
Mystery.
Okay.
Like, it was written from the perspective of the dog, like a canine service dog for a police unit.
Oh.
Which, okay, that makes sense. Except the whole story is about it. Well, no, I guess it was more romance. It's about the romance between the cop and whatever, but it's all told through the dog's eyes. And I was like, your dog escapes doggy rehab to score some smack. Like, did he use his doggy debit card, or does he just have a roll of ones in his collar? Like,
imagine like an R-rated Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
I know.
yes, with a coke habit.
Weird.
I tried to steer that student like all over the place, and they just refused. And I was like, look, good luck. No agent will pick this up.
But the fun part is self-pub, somebody would probably be like, I was looking for this very thing.
Yeah. I read it to my dog at night.
You know, there are Audible audiobooks specifically for pets. So I could totally see this one being a dog audiobook.
Is there?
Yes. There is content for your pets if you're going to be gone, like for people that work long hours. Yeah, you can set up like Alexa or whatever, and I'm really sorry if I just triggered somebody's, to play like the doggy Audible stuff.
Okay, to be fair, I just went to Audible's dog recommendations, and the titles are To Kill a Mockingbird, Anne of Green Gables, Jane Eyre, Life of Pi, Carl Sagan's The Cosmos, and Neil Gaiman's Neverwhere.
I mean,
your dog is reading at a really high level.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, it gets better. Huck Finn, Journey to the Center of the Earth, Journey to the Center of the Earth, read by Tim Curry.
Ooh, actually, Tim Curry. That's an interesting choice.
And then at the bottom, it's just Cesar Millan books. Like, that one makes sense to me.
Are they really long? They seem like some of those I know are not short works.
He wrote a book called Guide to Audiobooks for Dogs. That is an audiobook for dogs.
Oh my God.
I am captivated. Like, and To Kill a Mockingbird is by Sissy Spacek. I just have this image, like, partway through, she's like, who's a good dog? You're a good dog. Now back to the inherent racism of To Kill a Mockingbird.
I did know somebody that named their cat Atticus after that book, so...
I like the name Atticus. I was going to name a character Atticus, and my husband's like, please don't. I was like, but I like the name.
And then Jane Eyre is by Tandy Newton. Anne of Green Gables is Rachel McAdams.
I want to know why they're on the recommended books for your dogs. Like, what is it about those that are like...
Cesar Millan put all of these together.
Oh, those are his recommendations?
In a recent study with Cesar Millan, 3 out of 4 dog owners reported a positive change in their dog's behavior after playing an Audible book for their dog. Okay, Audible, you're stretching your marketing budget here.
But it's obvious, it's working. Do you know, like, I saw so many articles about this. There was an NPR report about this.
Okay, I want to see what cats are reading.
Oh, it's all slasher. It's all horror, like human beings being skinned alive. You know it is.
Oh, there's no Audible for cats.
No. Well, yeah, cats are too cool. They're like, I don't need an audiobook.
Yeah, they go where they want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's no Audible for cats. How about parrots?
Ugh.
Oh, no, I guess this is communicating with animals. Okay, Audible. This is why it took my book 69 days to get published.
Exactly.
Blaming Cesar Millan. Single-handedly, it's his fault.
It's like if your dog is tired of hearing your voice all day, play someone else's.
But seriously, Tim Curry just comes on and soothes your dog.
I love Tim Curry. I wouldn't call his voice soothing. Like, I don't know. Terrifyingly erotic, yes. Soothing, no.
You're going to come home and your dog is going to be wearing like leather bondage.
Yeah. Which I'm all for, but...
I'm pretty sure I've seen those animals during a pride parade.
They're wearing a leather mask and you're like, you already look like that, right? You're a dog.
It's going to
They're
be
wearing
like
their fancy
50 Shades
collars.
of Grey for
Yeah.
your dog.
I know. I adore Tim Curry though. Like my brothers and I watched Clue like at least once a week.
Did you
That's
see
such a good movie.
Knives Out?
Yes, fantastic film.
I expected it to be more humorous like Clue, but it really was like the serious updated version of Clue.
Mm-hmm. But there were some funny moments. There were some like horrifying moments, but there were also some really funny moments, like her vomiting in like the planter. I was like, that's the best right there. Loving that.
Yeah, it was so much dark comedy that I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yes. Well, like, why am I the one laughing at this?
I know. I feel bad. Is there something wrong with me? But Daniel Craig with a Southern accent, I was like,
Okay, I'm from the South. Can I just tell you, wrong. Everything about that was horribly wrong. Yes. It grated me so badly that I actually stopped watching the movie after the first 15 minutes, and I was like, this is going to be for tomorrow. Can't do this.
It had a little Cajun to it.
But that was the problem. It changed like 4 or 5 times in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. That's so weird.
What Southern are you? Because you're not from Alabama. You're not from Georgia. You're not from Texas. Like, are you from this country?
He was trying to be Southern gentleman, was the impression I got, which generally speaking then puts you North Carolina, South Carolina.
If I get drunk enough, I'll revert to North Carolina.
I see on my dad's side, everybody is from either Texas or Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'm red.
So it's a little weird.
So
I did read a bunch of reviews before I watched that movie, and they said he was giving his best Colonel Sanders. And I was like, yeah, I can see that now that after I watched it, I was like, yeah, I don't know why the voice coaches do.
I was okay with it. And they're doing the spin-off movie with him. So
Oh yeah,
maybe he'll get better.
He's so eager to be done with James Bond, you can just tell.
Oh my god.
I don't blame him.
For him to be done.
Please just let me go to this murder mystery where I walk around a beautiful estate and don't do any stunt work.
It's got to be hard on a body, honestly.
Like, it wasn't until Girl with a Dragon Tattoo that I believed that he could get the girl. Never as James Bond have I thought of him with swagger.
No, I didn't see. What I liked about his James Bond, though, is it didn't have swagger. He was, as Judi Dench called him, a blunt instrument. He was lacking in class. The only thing seductive about him was, returning again to this male body part, his abs.
But in every James Bond movie, they treat him like he's still Sean Connery.
I didn't see that with the first 2 Daniel Craig ones. The first one in particular, Casino Royale, I didn't see that.
He always still has, the built-in, I can charm the pants off any woman. And I'm like, dude, you're not Daniel Craig, or you're not Sean Connery. Like, you're going to have to work for it.
Not that hard.
but in Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, where I was so traumatized all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not get, I read that book and I still didn't get past a certain scene in that movie. I was like, I'm out. I can't do it.
Yeah.
The rape scene
was
horrific. When I'm not going to say she raped him, but when she gets justice.
Yeah.
That was weirdly erotic, like uncomfortable. Like I don't want to deal with these feelings.
I think that they did that on purpose with that, but I couldn't. Like, I knew what was coming. I knew that he was going to get his, because like I said, I read the book, but I was just like, that scene was so horrifying that I was like, I can't.
When she hooks up with Daniel Craig in that, at that point, I truly believed, like, dude, you got some game. Like, I get this.
I should at least look up the scenes with her and him and just see. I'm sure they're on YouTube.
Yeah, and she's fantastic. That's why.
Oh, she's great.
I didn't watch the sequel because I wanted it for her.
Yeah, no, she was fantastic. What I did see of that movie, I was like, hands down, you're phenomenal. All right, I better go because I don't know what I'm making for dinner.
I prepped dinner before I started writing.
Well, I was gonna make pesto, but I forgot to defrost the sauce, so we'll see what's in the freezer.
I'm making sausage penne with cream sauce.
Dang. Need a chef. All right. Happy writing, you two.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. I don't even know when the sprint supposedly started. Oh, okay. We still got
7:05. So this will be like a 10-minute sprint.
Yeah. I can make that happen. It'll be fine.
Can do this, then I'll try to figure out what I'm going to eat.
In time.
Woohoo.
So I am writing the novelization of my serial. And so I wrote my serial in first person, and I don't really like it, just because there's so much world building to be done, and in first person, it's not at the level it needs to be. And so I was like, okay, well, let me see if I can rewrite this in third person. And I'm on chapter 2 and at 4,500 words in one day.
Yeah, it's so much easier to write third person, I think.
Yeah, and it's also like I've written it already in first person, so I know what's going to happen. Like I know, like there's a chapter I'm like, that plot not quite what I want. But like I've already been able to add in a bunch of scenes that don't have the protagonists, but I'm keeping it mostly one point of view, other than the occasional I need another body. And it's just writing so much faster. So this might be the next series that I actually write just for the sake of doing it.
Yeah, I did the switch from first person to third person, and I like it a lot more.
The 3 books that I have to edit are in first person, and it works well. I was telling Lana, the original superhero series happens, it's all in third person. This prequel happens and it's all in first person, and the reason for it, like logically, is the psychic that's in the first the ones that I just wrote, you're actually reading her visions. So when the other ones are in third person, it's because she has witnessed those things happening. So nobody is ever going to figure that out unless I like write an entire like, hey, by the way, the reason this is, no one cares.
Craziness.
When's your next book coming out?
Hopefully sometime next month if I can get my blurb and all my stuff together. Maybe.
Ooh.
Yeah, I gotta put something out. It's just sitting on my desktop waiting to be looked through.
Yeah, I'm drunk.
Yeah.
Like, why is it so hard to think of words? I want to edit this, and I would realistically like to get it done in like the next week. But I'm really enjoying writing the story, so like I'm gonna have to divide my time somehow. And this is kind of new.
Yeah, if it's coming easy, then I say just go with it, because then it's like effortless.
The only downside is I only have the serial plotted out until the end of the first book, and then I have no idea what's going to happen after that. So probably need to know the direction that this is going to go in. And though it's only one point of view, I feel that because I've kind of created a much different world, that I need to reacclimate the reader to this new dystopia. So we'll see.
Do one of those like cheesy blocks of in the future. The year is blah, blah, like Battlestar Galactica.
Well, and I don't know when it happens because so the main thing that happens, the defining thing between my superhero series and this one is no one remembers really what happened. All data is erased. Computers and things still work, but all the storage drives were wiped clean. So the main character works at a data reconstruction center. And so they bring in like newspapers and she has to scan them and validate all the data that comes in. And so they're basically rebuilding human history. And so originally it was only 100 years in the future. And I was like, people are going to remember the past 100 years into the future, I hope. So then I was like, 200 years? That's like 3 generations. I feel like I remember World War II.
Yeah, it would need to be like taught to them.
But like, I don't think I could tell you anything about the 1800s. Like definitive, like people have told me stories or I've read stuff. So maybe 200 years is enough for the world to forget what happened. Or I could just 1,000 years in the future. Who knows?
Yeah, I just judge everything by when did the Titanic sink, how far away, or how.
I was reading one of these things when it was like the pyramids existed now. When the pyramids were built, it was closer to the age of dinosaurs than it was to modern day. Like weird stuff like that. Like, oh, I have no sense of time.
Yeah, it's like I still look at like stuff where I'm reading like biographies of people, and I'm like, oh, that was not that long ago. But nobody really remembers it.
The new Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was, I think, last night, and I watched it this morning, and they're like, oh, Prohibition, and like Mac is black, and so they make references to him, and I was like, oh yeah, that was a thing, and oh yeah, there was no alcohol, and oh yeah, history existed basically.
Yep. People have made video games about that time alone. Like,
yeah, if I haven't played the video game, it didn't exist, basically.
yeah. How I learned my history now through the video game.
That's what they need is like an interactive, like first-person shooter through history, and then I'll remember.
Yeah, I want them to do history teaching with like VR, where it's like one of those like interactive museums where there's like a fun female narrator that's like, and here we are, in like a nice accent. And it's like, oh, this is how I will absorb this easily and I'll remember it.
So when I was in Scotland, I went to this museum called the People's Museum. And the People's Museum is just about everyday life in Scotland. And it, like different areas of the building are different time periods in Scotland. But it's after the clans came together and created, more modern day Scotland. And so there's a whole area about World War II, and it was showing how, like, over here we had drills where like we hid under our desks, but there they had like lights out at sundown, and like they had bunkers, and like they had to drive on the streets without headlights because, oh yeah, the war was like 5 miles that way.
Yeah, that's craziness.
But it was such a cool like exhibit that I was like, oh, now I know more about their history in World War II than I know our own.
Well, it's all right.
All right, I'm gonna let you go, and I'll be here tomorrow because that's what I do.
I'll try to join unless something comes up and then I can't escape.
Ooh, work.
I know, seriously.
Tell them it's
But it's for fun.
quarantine. You have a fever. You can't work today.
I can't work. They'll be like, "Oh my gosh, you're gonna die." No.
Be like, I think I have a fever.
No, I can't even get away with that. They'll believe anything. No.
All right. Well, I will talk to you tomorrow, I'm sure.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye.